All right, let's continue here. Psychology assessment 19, question 1. So we're going to go more into depth about responses here, right? So what is stimulus control training? Well, stimulus control training is a process where people learn to tell the difference between a stimuli, right? So great example, drivers, right? They quickly learn that red light means stopping the vehicle and green light means proceeding on, moving forward, hitting the gas, right? So that's stimulus control training, right? And it enables someone to learn the difference between a stimuli, right? They quickly learn the difference between red light and green light. All right, so that's stimulus control training, right? If you break down stimulus control training, you also have generalization stimulus. Now that's just assuming that a certain stimulus or a certain stimuli is associated with another stimuli that's very similar, right? For example, you go to the grocery store and you have a bad experience with a Native American, right? So then you quickly tell yourself, well, if this Native American is like this, then they all must be like that, right? So then that's what we consider a generalization stimulus, and that's a subdivision from the entire stimulus control training, right? Now, the last example I'm going to provide is another subdivision to stimulus control training, and this one's called discriminative stimulus. Uh, and basically, what discriminative stimulus is, being able to tell the difference between a stimuli provoking some form of response or behavior, or not provoking this certain behavior or response, right? So let me clarify. You go ahead, you have this your neighbor, right? And you need to borrow a cup of sugar, right? As soon as you walk in there, or you approach the front door, you hear screaming and kicking on the other side of the door. You hear that your neighbor is having an argument with another person that lives in the facility or lives in the house. Do you think that it's the perfect time to go in there and ask for a cup of sugar? No. Most likely you're going to turn around, you're going to say, "Hey, this is not the perfect time uh, to ask for the cup of sugar," right? But let's say if you approach uh, the house and you don't hear anything, you don't hear absolutely nothing, well, you might be you might have the courage to ask them for the cup of sugar, right? Because you don't hear so much of a ruckus as you did before, right? And so that's the difference. That's what's called discriminative stimulus, all right? And that's a subdivision to stimulus control training.